Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Hayvering. Probably my least prepared Hayvering I have done in a while because I didn't want to write any notes. So I haven't. And it's been a while since I watched the videos and things surrounding all this stuff. This is all going to be straight off the top of the dome piece. Because of that, it's going to be terrible. But yeah, that's what we do. It's Monday night. It's pub quiz night. Great quiz night tonight. We finished 4th, which is our normal position, but 14 out of 14 in the music round. What a music round it was. Bicep glue? You never would get that in a pub quiz. Unbelievable. But it came up and we got it. Wait, hang on. I'll tell you the songs in the music round that we got. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second here. It was Blur, Park Life, easy obviously. Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. They were all artists that start with B. Bob Dylan, Blowing in the Wind. Busted, Year 3000. Triple Bead Woman, you know what I'm saying? Bob Marley, Could You Be Loved? Bombay Bicycle Club, Always Like This. An unusual one, I doubt many people got that. And then Bicep Glue was the last song in the music round. Unbelievable scenes by us. What a result to finish 4th of the quiz that we attend every single week. And we get beaten by at least the same 2 teams every single week. If you're watching this, substandard and... Oh, what's the other team's name? They'll always be us. Anyway, fuck you. Hopefully we're far enough into the video that I don't get demonetized for saying the naughty word. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the Leviathans roster change and the upcoming All-Stars event, which is a bit of a mess in my opinion, but we'll talk about it. Let's get into the Leviathans roster change first. Okay. So, end result is that the Leviathans have removed Zapman and brought in Pandacat, who did retire this season to go back, finish his real estate license in, oh god, is Panda from New York? I forgot. I apologize. I forgot where Panda is from. It's all the same to me. You're all Yanks to me. Even if Panda's at least partly Ukrainian. Anyway, yeah, he's back out of retirement. He's moving back to Georgia. He's going to be playing in the league next phase, swapping one of the ADC goats for another. An interesting move going into the final phase of the season. So, I think the first thing I want to talk about is the news that it's not really been mentioned that much. I've not seen it around talked about that much. Is a couple players have come out and said, yeah, I was also offered this spot. So, Coast has definitely said it, and I'm sure Hardcore has as well, otherwise I dreamt this. But Coast said that, yeah, he was offered a spot on the Leviathans and he turned it down to stay with the Hounds. It would have been a real kick in the teeth to lose him as well, right? I feel like, I think if Quig hadn't left, I wonder if Coast would have. You know what I mean? But Coast did not accept the offer to join the Leviathans. And Hardcore as well decided to stay on the Kings, I believe. I think that was a King. That one I'm less sure of. But I believe that was the case. So the Leviathans seem to definitely want change. I also, to be honest, I'll just say it, I heard rumors of like different roster changes with that team. They seem to be desperate to change pretty much anything or everything. I've heard like a load of different rumors. So that's what I was alluding to in previous videos when I was like, roster changes might not be over. I was talking about the fact that yeah, the Leviathans were gonna make a change. They were hammering that one through. Zap just happened to be the one to go. Ends up getting replaced by Pandacat rather than Coaster Hardcore. But it seems like they were hell bent on getting rid of him in the end. Reasoning. Well, I mean, everybody knows Zap is a terrible player when it comes to practice. It's been well known for years, especially in the first half of the season. And if you've got, I think some of the Leviathans boys talked about it in interviews that it was just miserable for them practicing with him. When you want to take practice seriously and he just won't, it's painful. He is a winner. I would hate to team with somebody like that personally. I'm very much somebody who thinks that like practice is really important and doing your best every session is the best way to set yourself up to win. But at the end of the day, I didn't fucking win anything, did I? He won 3 world championships. So shows what I know. Turns out dicking around is the best way to win. Anyway, yeah, I can imagine he's a pretty frustrating character to scrim with. He just like will go 0-12 or whatever in games, like just continually take 1v1s from behind, die to ganks all the time, etc., which makes him a bad teammate in practice. On the other hand, later on in the season, obviously he turns it on when it gets to serious time of year. I don't know if he just like conserves his energy, you know, he's like a Dragon Ball Z fighter waiting for the final act, you know, waiting for Frieza to go final form, and then he's going to go Super Saiyan. Shout out to all my anime fans. Yeah, he definitely is like a late season player for sure, and he's a big event player as well. He just brings that calmness and that sort of don't take risks attitude to real games because he's got the experience of playing on LAN. He doesn't panic. He keeps teams calm. He's gone 0-12 before, you know, 14 times in scrims. So he just keeps it going. What that means for Zap, I don't know. I would be surprised if he ends up on another SPL team. One thing I'm thinking, Zap, the Ravens coach, snakes his way in, kicks Barra out the league, wins Worlds for a 4th time. What do you guys think about that? I think that could be a big move for the league and for Smite in general if that were to happen. That's what I'm voting for, just purely for YouTube analytics. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know who Ravens are gonna get as coach. It'll be interesting to see, but yeah. Yeah, Leviathan we're super keen to make a change. I heard all sorts of potential replacements. I don't think any of them could or should have felt particularly safe in their spots this year, apart from maybe adapting and Shinto. You'd say probably don't, like, on the balance of things, were the best 2 players. I would say adapting the best player, Shinto the second best player. Other 3 pretty bang average. I would say that Fino and Rongi weren't any better than Zapman. Maybe you can put that down to a bad practice environment, whatever. We know Fino and Max Pandacat have a great relationship, great friendship. And they will, I think they'll have a great time together and things will get good. So yeah, that's the Levi's. Do I think they got better? I think they got better regular season. I think they'll probably have a better phase coming up than they would have with Zapman. But it's hard to say. Like, you never know. But I hope that Panda comes in and he's hungry and he's being his usual self. He's a great personality to have in the league. Zap is as well. But Panda's just a little more abrasive, I think, which I think is a good quality in some ways. I like Panda's attitude. He's very much like, fuck you, I'm better than you, right? Zap has that to an extent, but he's less outward about it. Zap like is like, fuck you, I'm better than you, by just like killing you and not saying a single. He'll embarrass you and not say a word. He's like, yeah, I just do that every day. Whereas Panda will be like, he'll get in your head about it. But I'm excited to see Panda back. Interesting to see how he copes being back in Georgia. He was very vocal about the fact that he didn't really want to live there, and that's why he moved away. But Have you seen this new revamped Hayvering logo, by the way? I've put a black stroke around it, basically. Unbelievable scenes by me. It's because I was wearing this t-shirt right here, and I noticed that like the white text was just blending in, so had to sort it out. That's a kind of effort no other YouTubers putting in, really. Anyway, next thing to talk about, All Stars. I didn't set this up, so Havering's probably not going to be there, and you can almost see that my Logitech G Hub device DPI was set to 1600. Heard of that? Anyway, All Stars. Do you know what all these players have in common? I think the common link is that none of them knew that they were selected for this event, and now have been told they have to play it, and many of them will not be in the country. So that's what my guess is on the link. Oh, they're All Stars. So these are the teams. There's teams of players. They're all the players you would expect. But yeah, I think a lot of people thought this tweet from Adapting was a joke, where he said, "Wait, am I playing in this?" It wasn't. many of the players who have been selected did not know they were playing, and some of them will be playing on ping because they are not able to get back to Georgia in time because their visas aren't finalized or because their flights aren't in that time period. So yeah, it just seems like a bit of a shit show, to be honest. They had so much downtime to just sort this stuff out. Like, they could have decided which teams the All-Stars were, apart from, I believe one of the swaps is Zapman was supposed to be an All-Star and then was kicked. So Vote is an All-Star. And I met Vote at the pub on Saturday. So I don't think he'll be there in time. Well, in fact, I know he won't be there because he doesn't have his passport back from the embassy yet. He's waiting for his visa renewal. But yeah, many of these players were not aware that they were supposed to be playing in this, and many of them, I believe, will not be back in the US in time to play on LAN. So not great, in my opinion. Not very well organized. Not very well. Is Final K play for Twitter Blue? Oh my god, get a grip, huh? Get a grip. I'm gonna mute that guy. Stupid Canadian idiot. Anyway, yeah, I think this event, like, I was pretty hyped for this event. I think that no, I'm not hyped for this event, actually. I'm not hyped for this event at all. I was never hyped for this event. I think that the Roll Stars is the much cooler event, where we get to see roles go against each other. I'm really interested to see how they all do in that. I think that'll be a really fun one, especially if they make it fun. I hope the players, like, really lean into it and really have a good time with it. But this event, like, with some players on ping, some players in studio, is going to be bad. I'll watch it, of course, and you'll all watch it too at twitch.tv/Hazer. But I think that the way it's been organized and the way it's being run is disappointing, personally. Way too little notice for the players. Everything seems quite last minute. I understand that admins and stuff have to get vacation time, but that, you know, you can work around that. You could have figured out the All-Stars ahead. Were they voted for? I don't know. I don't know how they were selected. I have no idea. I didn't vote. Was I supposed to vote? How were they selected? And if they were just selected by admins or whatever, why is the decision made too late for people to know ahead of time? And why are players who aren't going to be in the country selected? Yeah, those are my questions. Is that it? Was there anything else I needed to talk about? It was one other thing I wanted to talk about. A little personal gripe. Well, is it personal? I don't know. I didn't like the reaction to the Netrioid genetics interview, to be honest with you. I thought that people came into it having already made up their minds and wanting to shit on Netrioid and the other members of the Warriors. I think that everything that Netrioid said and the reasonings he gave on why they removed Jake add up perfectly with what's been said previously. I really don't like talking about this and defending them on it because it feels like shitting on Jake, which I really don't want to do because the guy had the best split last phase. He did play amazing, and he's basically just been screwed over by team changes, and it's very unfortunate for him. But I'll do it anyway. Haddix and Ven came out end of last season, said exactly the same things about Jake. He's not vocal enough. He has limited god pool, etc., etc. He struggles in meta changes, things like that. Basically said that he wasn't a great teammate a lot of the time. And then the Warriors, despite the fact that they're winning, decide to make a roster change to try and make sure that they continue winning. And they give all the same reasons that you've already heard from other people. And I think that Netrioid outlined them perfectly well. I think maybe I didn't drive the interview well enough, and maybe he said too many things. Maybe I should have... I tried to focus it, but maybe I should have worked harder on that and just been like, look, just what you want to do is talk about these specific things that you think the roster change was for. But basically, I'm in agreement on the roster change. When you ask a player to improve on things and they don't do it, it's a problem. It's a problem in terms of trust, in terms of improvement, in terms of, you know, and a lot of people like totally poo-pooed the team environment, like the way he acts during picks and bans and stuff. I'm not like, I think that certain bits of it are a little silly, but every like esports and athletic, even like real sports teams, like and esports athletes, like you see tennis doubles players after every point, they give themselves a little high five, talk to each other. See CSGO players after every round, they drop each other little fist bumps. I don't think I know better than them. I think that, although we wouldn't like it to be, I think that those kinds of attitude and team environment things are important. I think it's, at a certain point, you just got to be like, these people probably know better than me. And so these fist bumps are important. And they give you like a mental reset and they put you back into the round. And it's going to be the same with like the way you project yourself during picks and bans and the way you act around your team and the confidence you exude. It drips into them and it gets you going. And I think that a lot of people just totally like said that any comments around Jake's attitude during picks and bans, or specifically during picks and bans, were moot because he's playing well, and I don't agree with that. And I hope that Jake learns a lesson. It seems that from what he's saying, he feels blindsided by it all, and he doesn't agree with a lot of the feedback. But I think that when you've had feedback like this that's repeated, you need to act on it. And I think that the repeatedness of the same themes that we're hearing around Jake are the important part, and why I totally believe that the Warriors, didn't make this decision lightly and made it for reasons that they think at least are legitimate. Whether they're a better team with Genex or not, I don't know. I think Genex is a better player than Netroid, but it's going to depend on on team fit and things like that. Super interested to see what happens when things go wrong for that team now with the players they have. I'll be interested to see how that clash of personalities goes. I think they would have had that easier with Jake for sure. But maybe they'll relish it. Maybe they'll grow from it. And maybe they'll go. What was their unbeaten streak last time? 15? Or there was 16 unbeaten or something. 17? I don't remember. Anyway, that's going to be it. That's enough Hayvering for one day. Very offbeat. Hopefully it was good for you. Hopefully it was as good for you as it was for me. It was good for me, baby. Thanks for watching. See you later.